Yeah, Triple H was a likely rumored opponent for quite a while, dating back to the 15th anniversary of SmackDown, but of course, already set in stone, Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania. They're going to be encountering one another at the Fastlane pay-per-view in a couple weeks, so that's definitely not an option, but I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back next year for WrestleMania, maybe for a Hall of Fame induction, then wrestles his final match at WrestleMania 32. I wouldn't be against that whatsoever, especially if we get one more match from Taker or Austin, like we were saying, a couple days ago via text. But on that note, I was actually just thinking about this before I started talking to you over the phone. Do you think that, and we'll talk about WrestleMania plans in a couple minutes, but do you think at some point in the next year they could turn Roman Reigns heel, whether it be in the next couple of weeks, depending on how the crowds react, depending on how our own Hartford, Connecticut crowd reacts on Thursday to SmackDown to Roman Reigns when they go live on the USA or on Sci-Fi, whether it happens at WrestleMania or within the next year, do you think they could turn Roman Reigns heel and do a Rock-Reigns match at WrestleMania 32 to make sense of that whole encounter on Sunday night? Because if they don't bring back Rock at any point in the near future, then all of that was, it's going to become obvious that it was desperate. Do you think that in the long term, they can make sense of that by planting seeds for an eventual match between the two at WrestleMania 32? Rock puts Reigns over as a big star, he retires, and that's a kind of passing the torch kind of thing. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, in all of my despair this past Sunday, my thought process was, if there was one thing that could possibly save this night, it would be The Rock walking off, all right, and then Roman Reigns turning around and hitting The Rock with a spear. That would be the one thing that could save the Royal Rumble. That would be, all right, that wasn't so bad, okay? So I would definitely like to see down the line a Rock versus Roman Reigns match. At this point, I think it's inevitable, to be honest. I mean, Roman Reigns is all the other Dave Bautista's path, but he will be turning heel at some point in the future. I can tell, 100%. He'll be turning heel, if not on this road to WrestleMania, at some point this year. So it's inevitable that we're going to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns at some point, hopefully WrestleMania 32, because that is a huge matchup. I remember this past summer we were hinting at the fact that maybe at WrestleMania 31 they could do Rock versus Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. So I think that without a doubt that match is going to be coming up at some point in the near future.
It definitely felt like they were going in that direction on Sunday night with turning Roman Reigns heel, because with the Authority coming out, I thought Reigns would turn on Rock and then he would join the Authority and be their new guy. And in turn, it's not like Brock Lesnar turning babyface would be an out-of-nowhere thing. We were talking last week that they kind of heavily teased at the end of last week's Raw, so they could kind of do it in an organic way that people already cheering for Brock Lesnar. They loved him on Sunday night in Philly, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. I mean, in storyline, it would be bizarre that the guy who got the most heat coming out of WrestleMania 30 last year, the guy who ended the streak, is all of a sudden the babyface, the monster heel that you want to conquer is now the monster babyface in the company. But like we talked about, they are so short on heels right now. They need Brock Lesnar as the heel, so they have to do Roman as a babyface in the road to WrestleMania. Maybe they turn him afterwards once Brock leaves. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but it's going to be interesting nevertheless.